Hey, you crazy mofos. The creak of the door and the sound of the steps mean one thing. This is Bill Johnson. Leatherface 2, Bubba, from Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, and you are listening to the Timo and Harley Show. Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the Timo and Harley Show.
Thank you for listening to the Timo and Harley Show. I am Timo. Over there is my partner on Mindcrime, Mr. Ben Harley. Say hello, Harley.
What is happening, people?
Ben the Hitcher Harley.
The Hitcher.
Too easy. It was too easy this week, yes.
But so good.
It is so good. So good. One of our official little films this week, ladies and gentlemen, is the 1986. I thought it was earlier than that, but 1986,
yeah,
The Hitcher.
86.
That's one of our official films. So, but
what's weird about this, Tim, that's the year that I acquired my driver's license. Yeah,
perfect for you to watch, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, that's been a few years ago now. And
yes,
speaking of a little while ago, Mr. Ben Harley, I miss Danny Hicks. I miss him.
I do too.
Yep. So
he got off safely. He flew off safely. Did you watch him fly?
I did watch him fly. I made sure and didn't tease him. Sometimes when he flies away, I do the old the Hicks call, and he gets confused and turns around. His echolocation goes off, and he turns around and like flies right toward me. And it's just, I mean, you know, it's funny the first 5 times, and then it's not funny anymore. So I just let Danny go. I let him go home, but he did make it home safe and sound.
Good.
I think there might be a couple of conventions in his future. I think I'm still waiting to hear back to see if he gets to do any. I think things that are too far for me to attend, but still, nonetheless, we can let people know where he's going to be.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure.
They can come out and see him. And
the guy's popular.
He is popular.
Yes, he is.
Let's see here.
Deservedly so.
Right. And he was here. He actually was here for the first couple days of Angio's cancer treatments. So she has been taking chemo and radiation. As we record this is on a Wednesday of her second week of this stuff. So she's had 2 rounds of chemo. She has those on Monday. Those last about 4 hours or so. I've been sitting there with her. So I bring my iPad and my reader glasses that I have to wear now. And sit there and watch them drip chemicals and things into her. And then she has radiation every weekday. So we're getting there. We're a little past a third of the way through almost about that. So and so far she said she feels like she said the best way to describe it is morning sickness so far. Just kind of a weird blah, like something's wrong. And then something that I never heard of before, but apparently I think John Dugan and Cassie DePaiva told Angie this. And then my uncle, he had cancer. He unfortunately passed, not of cancer, but he passed a couple years ago. And he had cancer and he had chemo. And apparently everyone, like his wife was telling us, my aunt, that there's a brain fog involved. I did not know that. So she gets like a brain fog. And the best way that I can describe it from what I'm seeing, and I don't hate to say it like this, maybe not everybody could identify with it. If you take like psychedelic drug of any kind, the next day you feel really stupid. And my friends and I used to call it the stupids.
The stupids, for
and
sure.
It's a brain fog kind of thing. And it seems like there's a bit of I guess a nausea, like a morning sickness and some stupids going on right now. Little skin irritation, I think, that's happening with the radiation stuff. This is all pretty normal stuff, but she's hanging in there, and she's hanging in there. So
good, and we're thinking about her, buddy. Well,
we appreciate that.
Prayers and she's on our mind. Yeah,
well, sure. She did go back to work yesterday. She went into the office, which was cathartic for her. Very good to do that. She started getting tired toward the end of the day, and then I think she's going to try to go in once or twice a week, and then she can work from home. So she's going to try to work while we're doing this because, Ben Harley, as an adult, I figured out that you need to do works in order to get currency to purchase goods and services.
Yeah, they keep telling me that when I go to the store. I don't understand this concept.
This is not what the politicians have been promising me. They just promise me things. The free things. That's what I want, I got it's not true, people. It's not true.
No,
it's not true. Things aren't free. So, but we're hanging in there. She is definitely hanging in there. So still going okay. Still God watching little bit of stuff together at night. She's getting tired, but tired. Sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep through it. Heck, get through it. So, all right. So let's do this. You got a wrestling show coming up, but that's it's something to do. It's the name has something to do with July 4th. I know it does.
July fireworks.
There it is.
They really went on a limb on this one. They really, July fireworks. Yes. Coming up July 7th, my friend.
July 7th. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
A very, very, a big show where I'm not quite sure yet, but the Potentate of Hate might have to strap up the boots that match. We're not quite sure yet. It could be I or Kevin. Not quite sure how they're going to play it yet. But either way, you know what that means, Timo? Bad news for those guys.
I thought what it means is you're doing everything you can to screw Kevin into putting on the boots. You're a heel. I'm just making it's what you're supposed to do after all, and I expect you to.
Well, Kevin's been in there a couple times.
He's experienced,
so so it might, I don't know, it might be my turn. We'll see, buddy. We'll see. But yes, Ray Orndorff, Andy Shane, and D-Ray 3000, who was he going under now? The Fro Gun Warrior or something. Fro.
I like that. That's pretty good.
I'm pretty sure that's something like that.
If not, it should be.
I'll get back to you, but I'm pretty sure that's the Fro Gun Warrior.
I'm not Fro Gun Warrior. I'm a Fro Gun Warrior.
Exactly.
One of many, my friend. And there's legions of us. I got a whole thing going. Let him hear that. He might like that.
Yeah,
so.
That's right. You got to pick for him, don't you, Tim?
Yes. Well, I tell you, I know a little bit. Being your lawyer, sometimes Farouk has to clear things through me, and knowing his actions, I'm a loosey-goosey lawyer. So I know about a few plans coming up, and I would not want to be Andy Shane. I certainly wouldn't want to be your announcer guy. What's his name? Stick Brewhauer? What's his name?
Terrence Sullivan.
I was close. Terrence Sullivan. I wouldn't want to be that shady referee who looks like he's got a thick pocket. It looks like his wallet is fatter every time he goes in the ring. To rep. I'm telling you, it looks fat, and I'm just not. As a lawyer, Mr. Ben Harley, I am one of the greatest counsels in the lower Americas, and I'm telling you right now that I'm an astute observer of my surroundings. I know this is how I go Perry Mason on people in the courtroom, and I'm telling you, I'm looking at that wallet. I'm telling you right now, I'm looking at his wallet, and it's
funny how much thicker it gets after the match, right, Timon?
You can't be that excited to see everybody. I'm telling you right now.
No, exactly.
Right. So July 7th, St. Clement's Hall, doors at 4, ring our bell time at 5, correct?
Yes.
Get there early because seats are going fast at these things.
Yeah, they really have.
Yeah.
Last show, we actually ran out of seats. And so,
had to open up another wing of the arena.
I'm sure we could find a few more to put out there.
Sure,
so,
absolutely.
Absolutely. Oh, we would. Make sure.
Pulling your car in so people could be like a drive-in, wrestling show. That'd be kind of fun, actually.
That would be fun.
That's
a good idea.
It is a good idea. So it's now on the Timo and Harley show, so we can patent that idea. See,
that's right, my friend.
Exactly. So,
it should be a pretty good show, bud, and I'm excited about how it's going to turn out. So,
very good. Excellent.
Good stuff.
Let's get through a few things that I watched, Mr. Ben Harley, this week.
Buddy.
Some good stuff for you. I'm kind of excited about this. So one thing I just wanted to mention, I know you like this, but it was a lot of fun. Me and Angio, we've been going through the Mystery Science theaters that I have, the discs I have.
Yeah.
And I've been going in order. We started in the first one because I have everything alphabetized. We're starting with Mystery Science Theater. We're going through the whole progression up through Riff Tracks. So what we're going to do. That's what we've been doing for a while now. So we got to Mystery Science Theater 3000, Godzilla versus Megalon. Yes, sir. We saw Jaguar.
I don't know if I had to. Yeah, I've seen that. I heard that.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
And it's funny, too, because as soon as we saw Jet Jaguar, I told Angie, I love Jet Jaguar. She's like, why? I go, because he's so heroic and shows up and just gets the shit punched out of him the entire time just to keep the monsters busy for Godzilla to regain his senses. To finally beat the monsters. Yeah. We had a good time watching that. I had to mention it.
Yeah. There's the guy in there that is the Japanese version of Damone from Rocket or Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah.
You know, love that guy. Man.
I like the little fish aquatic thing. The little kids trying to ride on the lake. Yeah. They had a heyday with that.
That's an intense scene. I remember as a kid that really affected me as a kid. This one's pretty violent towards kids. It really is too. It was just intense. And but I will say, as I've gotten older, I almost like watching the Japanese version with the subtitles because I can't stand that kid's voice.
Oh, it's bad. I've mentioned a few times, and so did the Mystery Science Theater guys that they wanted to kill him. Yeah, I wanted to kill him.
It's like Speed Racer with Speed Racer voices with, I don't know, mix a little like shards of glass in it or something in your ears.
Chewing on tinfoil kind of feel.
Oh, God, it's so bad.
Right. But it was fun to watch.
I love that. It's one of my favorite ones, though. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a good Godzilla flick. Yeah.
Let's see. Moving on, Mr. Ben Harley, from 1980. From 1980. Okay. Now, I hadn't thought about this movie for a little while, and for some reason it came up, and I can't remember why. But Angio and I watched Alligator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right. Been a while since I watched Alligator with old Robert Forrester and his receding hairline. And Henry Silva, Sidney Lassick, Dean Jagger. I love the movie. It's one of those movies. When we were kids, I know you're going to have the same reaction that it got okay reviews because John Sayles wrote it. So it's got some humor in it and things like that. But man, it just kind of fell off the face of the earth. And it was kind of a big movie when it came out.
Mm-hmm. Flushing alligators down the toilet. Man, that's still people talk about that stuff.
Oh, yeah. So, and it was directed by... Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it was directed by Louis Teague, who did Jewel the Nile, believe it or not. Did Cat's Eye and a little bitty movie called Cujo.
Ooh. Yeah. It's just a little bitty one. Yeah.
But John Sayles, I think, is the force behind that movie. As a matter of fact, as a writer and everything, he's good, very good. If you look into John Sayles, you'll be like, "Oh, I love this guy." If you don't know who he is, you'll be like, "Aha, yes, he's wonderful." Moving on, Mr. Ben Harley, watched a movie that's from 2018. So I went from 2080 to 2018. So I don't do this very often. I don't go that far in the future watching movies. But watch the new film, The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot, starring Sam Elliott.
Yeah, now I'd seen a poster of this and I was like, who came up with this poster? Like, doesn't even make sense. That sounds the weirdest. And it's real.
Yes, it is real.
Wait a second.
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It's. I think people want to see Hobo with a Shotgun because it's an overly descriptive title for a film. So I think that when you start, you're expecting that. But I would put this movie more into the category of, I don't want to say Rare Exports: A Christmas Tale. But I would say, and this sounds weird, but I would say somewhere in between that and Inglourious Basterds, a Tarantino version, where it's sort of revisiting history. There's a revisionist history going on, but it's played.
The Nazis messing with Bigfoot.
Well, here's what's good about it. It's played real straight. This movie is not a goofy movie.
Okay.
It's not a no, it's not. It's a serious movie, if anything. It's Sam Elliott plays
Bigfoot come into play.
Sam Elliott plays a guy who was an ex-military special, I don't want to say
forces.
Special mission guy.
Okay.
But I'm talking Army. I don't think he's like dark, like Black Ops or anything. But anyway, so Yes, he went on a mission and killed Hitler. Okay. And it's played in a way where like Inglourious Bastards did, where you're like, it's just a little bit of revisionist history. But when you watch it, you're like, well, that could have happened. I mean, nobody really knows. Nobody really found Hitler's body. I mean, you know, like, right. He's dead. Okay, he's dead. No matter what happened, he's dead. He's gone. All right. But there is those conspiracy theories out there that you really don't know if that was him or not. You know, we're you know, the Russians were saying it wasn't for a long time. You know, there's a lot of weird things. So that's fine. And then what happens is he's reliving this through flashbacks as an old man. Okay. But during this time, he's like at a bar drinking, Sam Elliott is, and these three guys try to steal his car, and he just beats the shit out of them, all three of them. And he's drunk while he's doing it, too. Yeah. And they're taking his car, and he leans in the car and he goes, "Son, I'm sorry." The guy goes, "Why?" He goes, I can't let you steal my car because I need it. And he goes, "What?" And he just beats the shit out of all three of them. Yeah. So what happens is cool. Ron Livingston from Office Space, actually. Okay. And who else is with him? There's another... like a scientist, military scientist guy. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Sam Jaffe from The Day the Earth Stood Still kind of guy. They come to his house and they sit down and they say, "Listen, we know who you are. We know what you've done, even though no one else does. You know, we're from the government. We know this and that. We have a problem with the Bigfoot." Now, you're going to think this is ridiculous and stupid and silly, but what happened is they've known about it. They've known about the creature, okay? So, and there's a lot of conspiracy theories of the Bigfoot world that the government doesn't know. They just don't want to shut down all the logging in the world, which you can't argue with it. You can laugh at that, but at the same time, well, okay, all right, you know. So, but he has a virus. The Bigfoot does, and it's killing the creature, but it's highly contagious and it's jumped to people. So they had to quarantine a whole area of a mountainous region because he has almost decimated the population, and he's coming down the mountain, and meaning he's coming toward civilization, and they want to kill him before he causes a plague. So it's a very interesting story, and of course Sam Elliott.
I think it is, but I just don't know that title. I think that title does it a disservice.
No, it's the movie.
Don't you?
It's the movie.
But don't you? I know, but don't you think? I mean, that just throws me off, buddy, right there. Now, if this was called, if it brought me into the Bigfoot thing a little bit more and didn't even talk about Hitler, I'd probably be in like full force.
But it's not that kind of movie. It's a movie about Sam Elliott.
You know what I mean, though.
But when you watch it, if you watch it, you won't. I don't think you'll think that, because when you watch the movie, the movie's called "The Man Who Killed Hitler." True. And then it's about Sam Elliott. It's about him. His wife had passed away and stuff. So there's a lot of drama in it. There's a lot of emotion in it. And he's not playing this for laughs. This movie is not being played for laughs at all. And I know what you're saying, but it seems to me like this was one of those deals where that was the working title that just stuck. Like Snakes on a Plane. Yeah. I think it was just a working title and it just stuck. Sure. What else are you going to call it? But I don't know what else they would have called it. This movie. Because I think that it's so the people. This is a love it or hate it movie, and the people who don't like it, they say it's ridiculous and it's just stupid, and it's just why would Sam Elliott even agree to be in this? And the reason that people are saying that is because it's not campy, it's not silly. The Bigfoot itself is bizarre, but Angie reminded me it's sick. Yeah, so I'm like, okay. You know, so there's like these different odd things in the movie, and I'm telling you, there's a little bit of humor, like when he beats up the guys. You know, it's kind of funny, but we're talking humor like there might be humor in like ordinary people. You know what I mean? It's not goofy. It's just not a goofy film. And so if you go into it thinking you're going to watch a character study about a guy who's done these insane things, and there's another character in the movie that's his brother, played by Larry Miller. Okay. And I love Larry Miller. And if you look up Larry Miller, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. He always plays a dick. And he's always like, he's a comedian. But anyway, so his brother is like the guy who Sam Elliott confides in without any knowledge of it being real or not. Right. So Sam Elliott's telling his brother, "I got to kill the Bigfoot." And so Larry Miller is looking at him like, "Okay, well, what are you going to do?" And Sam Elliott goes, "Why do you believe me?" He says, because an honest man is an honest man.
Right. Yeah.
And I've never known you not to be an honest man. So there's moments like that. Sure. And so it takes goofy things like a murder of Hitler and then killing a Bigfoot and wraps it into a serious story by a guy. I thought it was really cool. I honestly did. I thought, this is really decent. As a matter of fact, I watched it on DVD. I think I'm going to buy the Blu-ray. It's that good that I think I'm going to support it, to buy the Blu-ray. I don't do that very often. I think the last time I did something like that, I don't remember last time I did something like that. Stomping Ground might have been the last time I did something like that. But I'm telling you, folks, do not go into this with your bong sitting next to you, thinking you're going to see. You're not going to see Hobo with a Shotgun. You're not going to see something zany. I did too. I really did. Good. So I think the off-putting title could be the fact that you might think that from the title it could be a movie like that because it's so descriptive.
Yeah.
But it's not like that. And then after watching it, I don't know what else I would call it.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know, because what you're explaining to me sounds kick-ass. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how to rationalize the rest of it. I don't know, buddy. I don't know.
You have to watch it, and it's a mystery movie. You have to peel it away. Doesn't cheat. I mean, there's no cheat in this movie. There's not like he's imagining. I mean, there's nothing like that. This is a nuts and bolts movie about a person. It's played straight. It's just the most incredible things that's happened to him. And he's just a non-assuming guy that goes to a little tavern on the corner every night.
Yeah.
It's also about a guy who's done things for the government. Actually, the big thing is after he killed Hitler, he was horribly depressed about it. It was guilty that he killed another person. And when they want him to kill Bigfoot, he's like, I promised I would never kill another living thing.
Yeah.
And he does not want to do it. And so the part of it is him trying to decide, do I want to kill another living thing? So it's that internal struggle. Do I kill this living thing or do I let it possibly wipe out humanity?
Sure.
I'm telling you, it's just not what it sounds like. Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't like it because it does not what it sounds like. It's a better movie than they expect.
Well, that's what I just think. I don't know. It's weird. I'll take a look.
Give it a spin, Ben. Give it a spin.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fun for me. I think it'd be fun myself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fun for me is if it has something that makes my pulse race. It's a little more. It's fun for me too.
If it doesn't make you want to punch the TV,
right? Yeah, then it's fun. Yeah, exactly.
Well, speaking of punching TVs, which I did not do in this one, in all fairness, but from 2016, let me backtrack for a second. We found out, we discovered that when you have Sprint, which we have had since the dawning of man. So we found out that when you have Sprint, you also get Hulu for free. I did not know this.
Okay, that's good.
So Angie just discovered this 2 days ago. So we reloaded Hulu, and I've watched a few things on Hulu now. So now we have something in common. We can both look at Hulu if you still have Hulu. I don't know if you do or not.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but I did watch The Unwanted Sasquatch.
Oh yeah, that's a not bad one, buddy.
Right.
That's the one that was filmed at? Some of it was filmed at the Salt Fork, right?
No, this was the one that has Meldrum, and it's the one where the researcher says, "I'm not going out beating on trees anymore." I've done that. It's mostly people sitting telling their stories.
Yes. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Right. And so, but
I get confused sometimes because I watched so many of those when I first got all that stuff.
Right. Well, I remember you were telling me this, but not too terribly long. It's not bad. And they talk about the morphology of the feet. They explain away the three toes with inbreeding and things like that. They talk about stuff like that. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was more up my alley with people, I don't know, who have some knowledge of the subject, who have studied it, trying to say what they know. I do know that they did say, if the scientists, if they want to ask about Bigfoot, they should come ask the researchers. I agree with that, but they really need to be careful about what researcher, quote unquote, I think they talk to.
Yeah.
I think you would agree.
It sucks because I can't. I'm trying to think of this one. It sucks too because
it's a new one.
Yeah, it's one of the better ones too, and
it's got John Green in it too. John Green's sitting there very old. He's talking about. I think it's the one where he says scientists always say that, we don't have any evidence and we're believers. He's like, what the hell are they? They're believers.
Right.
He goes, if you want to find the most conservative, closed-minded group of people, find science.
Talk to scientists. Yeah. Right.
So and then it's got the guy. I'm pretty sure it's the one with. Yeah, I got John Green written down here, so I know it's that one. I'm making sure I didn't watch two of them and get them mixed up because it's so easy to do that with these things. I didn't write this down, but it just dawned on me. This is mostly about the Southern Bigfoot.
Yeah, okay.
So they have little questions come up on the screen, like, what is the Southern Bigfoot? How is it different? And then they discuss it with these researchers and people. And Meldrum's one of them.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff, though. Not too bad.
And those stuff, I miss, it's lately here not having anything to watch lately. It's been kind of a bummer for me. And I've searched lately, but nothing's really news kind of come up or that I found.
Oh, you know what, man? Shit. I'm going to bust myself out here. I'm not even going to edit this. I think I got the unwanted Sasquatch screwed up. Hold on. Yeah. With something on Hulu called Bigfoot or Sasquatch Encounters.
Yeah. Yep. Because that one, the encounters, it's just have people sitting and they talk about their different encounters. Some, I think, don't want to be seen. Is that it?
That might be. There's a couple that are blacked out. Okay, so I watched two of them, and I just remembered this. So on Hulu,
I thought the unwanted one was the one that had the Salt Fork guys. I thought
it might have. And so I watched both of them, but they're both good. So the unwanted Sasquatch, I do believe is on Amazon. That's one. That's on Amazon. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. And then the Bigfoot or Sasquatch Encounters, that's on Hulu. But I watched both of them, and as I just said, I got them both screwed up.
That's okay. Well, I don't feel so bad because I was like, wait a second. Well, maybe I'm. It's been a while since I watched those, but that's okay, Tim. Well, good. I'm glad you watched them because they are good. They're okay. And you and I both like to talk about the people's experiences because those ones are fun. You get a little bit better grasp, I think, than guys like Moneymaker, who, it's everything's Bigfoot, and these people are saying, a lot of these people are just something they happened across, and or it's on their land,
right?
And they're okay with it. They don't mess with it. They don't,
right. Well,
it's pretty cool.
I'm with you on that, and I know I've been talking on the show about you can't trust your ears, you can't. I just want people to understand when I'm saying this. It's not like I've become some anti-Bigfoot person. I want to be clear. Like I want the real.
You have a healthy respect for it, but you also you're not rose-tinted glasses.
No, not at all. Because I think that they're much more rare than the researchers say they are. And I do too. I don't dismiss everything that people have seen. That's what I'm saying. People have seen and heard things like it's walked out in front of people. I mean, I buy that. I'm not, you're either lying or not, and I'm not the one to call you a liar. If I believe you, if I'm looking at you and I think you're telling me the truth, and that's what happened. I can't explain it either. I don't know. But there are things that when people are hearing tree knocks and things like this, and what made me think about is watching not the unwanted Sasquatch on Amazon, but watching the Encounters one on Hulu. That's the one where the guy is sitting there saying, I used to try to do screams and do tree knocks. I got like maybe one reply. Buddy, I got news for you. It wasn't a reply. No. Okay. I don't believe any of this stuff. I don't believe, I might be wrong. I'm not going out with goggles on at night. So, but I hear so many things that sound like a tree knock. Yeah. That if I hit a stick and then heard that, I would think it was coincidence that I heard something. And it's the reason you don't hear anything again. We only heard one knock. No, you didn't. Something fell. And it's a coincidence. It's not, you're not going to hear it again because things only fall once. Sure. That's, so it's not going to happen again. But so I get very irritated with those things, but I'm not saying that the Patterson Gimlin is a guy in a suit. I don't know that. And when I was a kid, it looked like it. Now that I've done more research into it, I'm more on the fence. I'm more on leaning that's something real. And that's hard. That's when you get the look from people when their eyebrow goes up, Mr. Benner. So I'm still getting eyebrows, but I'm not going along with all you people
Well, no, you shouldn't, buddy. And I think you and I work well together on that aspect because I tend to have a little bit more rose tinted glasses. But there was a time when I didn't believe the Patterson Gimlin film, and it was because of so much time had gone by and nothing had happened. And then there was a lot of talk about Patterson. Yep. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. Yep.
And as I got older, I started to waver. I did. I started, but then again, buddy, I started to delve back in like I was when I was a kid and find more things. But the problem is, and you and I have talked about this, we could probably see one and it could be filmed and it could be hard to believe. It's just going to be. And I finally come to the realization of that it's just going to be, it's too hard in this day and age with the technology and everything else and the hoaxers and everything. It's too hard to prove it with video evidence even. Right. And it sucks. But, man, is it fun still. I still enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? But that's
a really interesting point about how when we saw that on In Search Of, because we all saw it on Search Of when it aired. Yeah. When it aired, we all did. Yeah. If you're of our age, and you were ever into this stuff, you always watched In Search Of. Who didn't believe
Leonard Nimoy? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just his voice alone made you believe in shit.
Well, I didn't, when I looked at it, even as a kid, I was like, oh man, what are you kidding me? Come on now. Like I was just like, that just looks silly. I just didn't believe it when I saw it as a kid because it looked too stereotypical of what it was. Yeah. But on the other hand, I gotta be honest with you, I never really did. I was curious about the Bigfoot story phenomena. I never believed it until I'm being honest. I saw a documentary a long time ago, over a decade ago. I don't know what it was. I'm not saying it was Monster Quest or something like that. I'm just saying that there was a documentary that had a lot of science in it. And there's been a few of those that they used to do. They don't do them anymore. They don't do them anymore because they've been done. I mean, what are you going to do? Well, I guess you could redo another one. The world is all repeats and repeats. So, but I couldn't answer some questions. Like I couldn't explain things. And then once you started getting into that footage and it got cleaned up, you started seeing things. You saw the hand open and close. I'm not buying the morphology on the leg. I think that's something wrong with the film. But when you start seeing things, you really get like, oh man, okay, that thing is big. And that thing is walking awful easy going, walking through. And we've all worn a suit like that. We used to bring him to a show, right? Dirty Dave Rupp used to bring a suit, and he would wear it, and he had a hard time sometimes walking around. He was always grabbing his eyes, like looking down, stuff like that. So I saw his documentary, and I remember walking upstairs. I was married, and I remember walking upstairs, looking at Angio, going, "All right, I think I might believe in Bigfoot." And she just looked at me like, "Tim, we're not dying in 2012, and there's no Bigfoot," And so but that's what kind of got me. Like, it really was. I didn't really think about it much. I didn't believe in it, and then it really bothered me. And you know, Harley, how I am. Things bother me. When they start bothering me, I can't. Like, it's like a movie that I've never seen that I find out about. It bothers me. Yeah, I mean, it bothers me. I found out about a Val Lewton movie called Apache Drums. That was his last movie. That was his only color movie. And it was supposed to be like this creepy Western where these people, like, and the Apaches are coming. They can hear the drums. They can hear the drums. Oh, yeah. And people are saying it's not really that great of a movie. I don't care. I'm dying here because I can't see it. I don't know how to find it. It's driving me crazy. I'm texting DVD Bob. I'm doing everything. I can't find the movie. DVD Bob goes, "Wow, that sounds really cool." I'm like, "I know, I can't find it though."
I'm trying to find it.
So this was one of those things that bothered me. It bothered me because I'm not the kind of person to buy into this stuff. So, but we could all be bamboozled, I guess, this and that, but I'm kind of intense on this stuff. So I think there could be something to this still. I just don't see anything new again coming out. So, going back and listening to like Meldrum and things, that helps. That helps a little bit in reminding me that there's really not much to this anyway. It's just an animal.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know what the big mystical thing about it really. I mean, that bothers me too. But
that's the thing too. It's like, why not? I think we're all adults here,
right?
But I think the news of that would probably cause some kind of a crazy stir. People going out and fuck whatever. Who knows?
And I don't really want it to be. I don't really want it to be found at this point. Almost, you know, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let it go.
It's funny. I've come to that point where it's like, if I found out it was real, what would I do?
I'm kind of bummed out.
I wouldn't say nothing. I wouldn't tell. I wouldn't. And that's how I am now. I'm like, I tell you.
right.
But I wouldn't say where, when. I mean, maybe, but I just wouldn't want it to be affected by me because of something I said.
We've got enough people thinking we're crazy. Yeah, it's like, it is what it is. But I do appreciate, at least in the Unwanted Sasquatch, that there was a little portion of it where they were saying, we don't believe in the extra dimensional alien type stuff with Bigfoot. I appreciated that because I'm on board with that. So that's about it, Mr. Ben Harley. You said, did you go back to a theater? Did you do this?
Twice in a week.
Man.
Well, maybe just over a week. Yeah. Wow.
You're feeding Hollywood's crack pipe. Come on.
I was feeding my crack-like addiction to buttered popcorn.
Good point. Okay.
Well, it was funny because it was nice. I got to go with my buddy, my buddy Mark Klein. I'm not sure you know Mark. But Mark's a good guy, and he's helped out here recently with some of our wrestling, and we got to use him as a prop.
Oh, okay, good, very good.
And he's a really nice guy. He's a cancer survivor, and he's a good guy. So we went. I went to breakfast with him the other day, and we went and saw Godzilla. But even though I was full, Tim, I was like, I popcorn. It just kept, I couldn't sit down in my seat without popcorn.
Well, popcorn makes the food come out better later.
Yes, exactly. And it makes shitty movies even better too. Sometimes
that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. But I will say, and I was not disappointed about missing the previews because the previews sucked last time. Okay, so I just want to punch. Talk about want to punch the screen.
You're not optimistic about our cinematic future, is what you're saying,
or the music scores for me either.
Good. Okay.
All 5 or so, it might have been 6 or 7 previews, but I know 5 of them had the same fucking song. I was like, wait, is this some kind of formula that I missed? Because it's in these movies now and these songs. Anyways, I digress. Yes, I went back to see Godzilla, my favorite. I had to go see my favorite actor again. I feel bad because, like most times when I go back to see a movie, the second time I enjoy it more. I don't think I enjoyed this as much the second time. It's still good. It's still good, buddy. It is. I just picked apart some of the things that I wish it could have had in it. And of course, I'm picking apart the story, but then you know what? I put the brakes on, Timo. Ben Harley finally came to the realization and pumped the brakes and said, Ben, this is a movie about a giant lizard, okay? And a 3-headed dragon, a 3-headed dragon, and a giant moth. And so, relax, buddy.
Right.
Flip and relax. And I also came to the realization, Ben Harley, you've been wanting for the Gone with the Wind of Godzilla films. Well, it happened in 1954.
Right.
Get over it.
Right.
Get over it.
Right.
Okay. Go back and watch that. And I guess finally, Timo, the problem I have. And it's not with Godzilla so much in the original, but the scene when they're there's some natives and they're running up, and they're natives, okay? They're natives to wherever they're at. That's what I'm saying. They're Japanese, but okay, they're island people. Yes. So when they're running up the hill and then all of a sudden Godzilla comes up over the hill and he blows a little bit of fire, goes, and he looks awful. It looks like a toy puppet.
Right.
That scene, and there's another one where he blows fire that's always really stuck with me as a kid, and I can't get those images out of my head because there's some really good stuff in that movie.
Right.
It just happens to be a very depressing film.
Yes.
So it's hard for me to watch sometimes but that is the Gone with the Wind of Godzilla films. It's the Gone with the Wind of giant monster movies. It is. I don't care what anybody says, and it's not because I'm a Godzilla fan. It is. You could take King Kong and Tarantula and all these other films that I love a lot. You put them up against Godzilla, it doesn't work as well as Godzilla because Godzilla is more film noir, I guess, maybe, especially in parts of it. It's very dreamy and depressing and it has a feel to it.
It's the difference between Hobo with a Shotgun and the man who killed Hitler and then the Bigfoot.
There we go.
It is.
All right,
it is. Because I've seen all those movies, and I'm telling you, there you go. There's a difference.
Right.
Yep.
Good. Okay. But and I just have to get over it.
Mm-hmm.
I know someday, maybe when I'm not around, it might happen. Or maybe Ben Harley needs to make his own Godzilla movie with his own little Godzilla toys. How about that?
There you go.
And then maybe I'll be. But you know what, Timo? There's some such kick-ass stuff in this new movie. If you like giant monsters and fighting scenes, this is it. The problem I had going into this one, and it might be because the way things are shot now, and it might be because this thing, I didn't see the digital or whatever, or the 3D version. The graphics aren't the best. They're good, but they're not groundbreaking. But anymore, I haven't seen a groundbreaking special effects movie since fucking
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
There you go. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm just not impressed by that stuff anymore. To me, it's just there. It is. But Godzilla's badass in this. At the ending, Timo, and I like the fact that there's this new sound that they have of him when he gets to shoot the fireworks. It's like a winding. To me, it's one of the coolest sounds in any movie ever in my lifetime. It just is. And I'm happy that it's for a character that I like. And they do it in a part at the end of this film. It's just like, oh God. Oh, it makes you kind of go, oh no. You know what I mean? It has that effect that, like the old films that we love so much, and Halloween and Jaws and Raiders of the Lost Ark and all these other things that have that little bitty, and you know why? Because John Williams.
Right. Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah.
And or you throw throw Carpenter in there. But you know what I'm saying? It has that feeling again to me. So that was good. And I like it. It makes me sit up in my seat a little bit more. So, and Godzilla's just badass. The only problem I have is, I guess, overall, is I don't like the other monsters that much. I mean, they're all cool. Ghidorah, Rodan, Mothra, King Kong, but these other ones, the Ludos, I'm not so.
Well, I think what's interesting is that I think what a lot of people like is the monster fights, but at the same time, the best Godzilla movie is the first one where he didn't fight anything. And I think that
Tokyo.
Yeah. Well, I think that I think it would have been kind of cool had they made that last Godzilla movie where he was just Godzilla. But then again, people wanted monster fights,
Well, and then I'm hoping for good things out of my Toho friends, and then they give me the movie that I haven't even decided to watch yet, that people keep warning me.
Oh, Shin Godzilla?
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't see where I'm going.
I'm kind of with Mark Diamond on this one. And me and him don't always see eye to eye in movies, but on this one, I'm with Mark. You just need to see it, so when someone asks you about it, you can go,
googly eyes turned me off.
Can I go away? Look away.
The googly eyes have turned me off. So I don't know. But hey, you know what, Timo? This one's good, and I can't wait for you to see it.
Okay, I will see it for sure.
For you and Chance to watch it, and I think it's something you'll enjoy because Ghidorah. There's some stuff in there that Ghidorah is just awesome, dude. Just awesome. There's the picture of Washington just destroyed,
right.
Whatever. But they're Ghidorah's nesting. You know why? Because Trump's there. That's why. But, no, they don't say that, which I'm glad. There's no
comes out of his hair.
Yeah, there's very little political.
That's good. I don't want any politics in my movies anymore. I'm tired of it.
Exactly. And this actually, it's.
Well, that would be a breath of fresh air for sure. What's funny though? You said that you've seen the Gone with the Wind of Godzilla movies. I got news for you. You've seen the Gone with the Wind of shark movies too, called Jaws. And you're never going to see one better.
You're never. No, you're not. You'll never.
So just enjoy what they're spoon feeding you, and go back and watch Jaws whenever you can. So
yeah.
Well, I'm glad you got to see it again. I will see it. Yeah. I definitely will see it.
Monster Zero, and they said Monster Zero. Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go with you next time you see it. I'm gonna have to sit behind you.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my my phone with me or something, make a little loop of it, and just when he comes on screen, I go, yeah.
Just call me and just have earbuds in, and I'll be doing something else. You go, just hit a button. I'll go, and then you'll hit another button when he's firing.
Yeah.
I'll go,
right, there you go. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So, nice. Well, very good, Mr. Ben Harley. Let's get to our official films this week. So we've had Godzilla and Bigfoot. We've been on a freak out. I think we've been on a freak out since diapers on these things, but and it continues. It continues. But let's get to our official films.
Continues, yeah.
Let's see. We'll go in chronological order. First up, from 1958, we have the film Curse of the Faceless Man.
That's right.
Let's see. Let me get out Movie Guy and give you a very short, kind of a funny storyline synopsis here for Curse of the Faceless Man. Here we go.
Yes.
A stone-encrusted body is unearthed at Pompeii, and people left alone with it keep dying of crushed skulls. Let's just throw this out there right now. This is basically an unofficial mummy movie. Yeah. Replacing Egypt with Pompeii. And the mummy with like a stone guy, with a guy that had been petrified due to the ash and lava of the Mount Vesuvius.
Yes.
At Pompeii. It's basically just the mummy without the horizontal lines. So that's really what. And I mean, the story is about the same too. It's about he's after a woman. They're always after a woman. He gets even his demise is about the same as every mummy movie, but we'll backtrack here a little bit. So the movie here is starring. Well, here's an interesting cast though. It's starring Richard Anderson, Oscar Goldman from $6 Million Man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that was, and he's still as handsome as ever. As a matter of fact, I was at a show. I don't remember what show it was, Mr. Ben-Hur. I don't remember if we were together or I was with Danny Hicks, but I was at a show he was at.
Oh,
and
really?
I swear to you, he was petrified. There was no change in that man whatsoever. He was the George Hamilton of television. I'm telling you.
Oh man,
yeah, he was still Richard Anderson. I almost said Oscar, and I must have seen him right before he passed.
Yeah,
because that was 2000.
Maybe he was petrified. Damn it, I'm sorry.
I'm keeping it. That's pretty good though. But anyway, so it's very simple. This story is so simple. As a matter of fact, it's almost too simple. Because it's only an hour long, and one complaint I've always had about this movie is that it feels slow and it feels long, and it's not. It gets going right away. I mean, there's not much that's not about the golem, the stone guy, the faceless man. There's not much not about him, and he does a lot of menacing and does a lot of moving around and killing and crushing skulls and whatnot. But I think
that poor girl's kind of like left out, or she's always everywhere that someone dies. Like there she is, like she's almost part of it, like
right.
Not
well, she's having visions and not doing well. Not doing well. No. So let's backtrack. So there is a woman.
I'm sorry, but
Tina Enright in the movie.
Yes,
and she starts having visions and starts getting really messed up by this faceless man. Again, we've seen this in mummy movies. Yes, we've seen this in mummy movies. So she is the object of the mummy's desires. Yes. She's also from the 1959 version of The Bat. She's played by Elaine Edwards, which is kind of cool. And the other lady in the film, Adelaide Mara, who plays Maria Fiorito in the movie, she is in The Catman of Paris, which is a fun little movie. Yeah. Sure. She's also the Tiger Woman. So I just want to give you one of those little things. But it's nothing more than he's at some sort of museum type place or something, and he just keeps getting up and killing people to get to Tina Enright. It's not, and I think that's the problem with this movie, is that it's almost an empty suit in a way where I've seen it 3 or 4 times. First of all, here's the first thing. I freak out every time I see this, and I don't know why I forget that it's black and white. I keep thinking this movie's in color.
Okay.
And I don't know why, but I really want it to be in color. And I don't know why. But every time I watch, like, oh my God, it's in black and white. And then I remember, I think I do this every time I watch this. Okay, so I've seen it
a few times.
I just think it needed more buildup. And believe it or not, I think it needed to slow down. I think it needed more story in the beginning around the Faceless Man and give us some time to fear this person before he starts moving around, because then it kind of looks like a guy in a rubber suit, just menacing people for no reason. There's not a whole lot of that tension built up. I like the amount of carnage for a 1958 movie. That's pretty stiff on carnage.
Yeah, because he basically just comes right out of the ground like that. A guy finds him like at a site, and
like an archaeological site. It's like a guy just digging. He's just digging through. He doesn't look like an archeologist or anything. He's a worker. And he unearths a hand, and it starts moving right away.
Yeah. You're right though, Tim, because it's basically it uses a lot of mummy lore in this. It's just, it could have been basically just a mummy movie.
Right.
So I did have a little problem with that, but the actual creature's not bad, and it's a little different take. And you're right, he does a lot of damage, and he's a tough dude. But it just left a little to be desired. Only for the fact is because it's not that I really tuned out on the story, but I'm like, this is the same damn story we've heard so many times with the chick. And then, but he menaced her quite a bit. She saw a lot of his carnage, what was left over, which I thought was kind of cool a little bit though. You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking they're going to pin this stuff on her, because everybody, everywhere she shows up or has been, people are coming up dead. So, which was okay too, which was all right too. I thought that kind of
it's all good. The whole idea of the whole thing is good. It's even done well.
Yeah,
it's problem with movies today a little bit. It wasn't written very well.
No.
Everything else is fine. Same writer as It, the Terror from Beyond Space, and as a matter of fact, Jerome Bixby, and as a matter of fact, same director, Edward L. Kahn.
Kahn. Why?
Who also directed Invisible Invaders that I like. Voodoo Woman, Invasion of the Saucer Men, Creature with the Atom Brain, even some R Gang shorts, some good ones too. Like really? Robot Rex, where they get the robot. Yeah. The Waldo's Last Stand, he did.
Oh, that's what he goes through, and he takes up all the. Oh God, their garden. He's like, Froggy's pissed.
So
that's a famous one to me.
And it was released on a double bill with from Terror from Beyond. This movie was. So I could, if I was in 1958 and I went to the theater and saw this and At the Terror from Beyond Space, I would certainly think I got my money's worth. In 1958.
Oh heck yeah,
absolutely,
for sure, yeah.
And I like it still. I still like the movie. It's just you don't need to pay attention to it much, and that's kind of hard because the old 1950s movies are fun because they got these goofy little stories, and then you get a little monster action, and the monster action is a payoff. This is almost all monster action, very little compelling story.
Exactly. So. Which kind of stinks in a way, but what can you do, buddy? I mean, it is what it is. But I think it was a good take.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's too similar to the Mummy. If there was something a little bit different, or like you said too, I think is a good idea. If we'd have known a little bit more about the character first, but then again, that's what they show in these Mummy ones too. Then you see about his love and how he lost his love, and then he gets mummified. Well, fuck.
Right,
what are we gonna do?
Right.
So, but I don't know. This was a kind of a tough one for me. It wasn't that I didn't enjoy it by any means. It just left me a little wanting, I guess.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Absolutely. I'm gonna give it a very mild grape A pub because I did like everything. It just didn't compel me, but it should have. I mean, and it's only if it was an hour and a half long, I'd poop on it.
Yeah.
But at an hour, well, if it's an hour and a half long, it might be a better story. So it might be actually a way better movie. And that normally doesn't happen. But in this one, you needed more. And I think in an hour and 7 minutes, they still could have gotten everything in.
I think so too. Yeah, you're right. You might be right there.
Right. So
I'm just going to definitely mild grape pipe from me too as well. But
All right. Well, let's move on to our next official film, which we have already let the cat out of the bag on this one.
Yeah.
From 1986, we have the original version of The Hitcher.
The Hitcher.
Yes. Let me get Todd's movie guy again and give you short storyline synopsis here. Here we go.
Yeah.
A young man who escapes the clutches of a murderous hitchhiker is subsequently stalked by the Hitcher and framed for his crimes. Yep. That is
that's pretty. That's what happened.
I remember very clearly when this movie came out and when I first saw it. And 1986 is officially for me, the end of the golden era. And I think this movie is one of the bookends of that golden era to me. Yeah. Reanimator, Evil Dead 2 were as well, but they changed movies. They sped them up to an unbelievable speed to where I didn't like them very much anymore.
Sure.
This movie is more of a, I don't know what this is. It's more, I'm going to call it a throwback. It's kind of a grindhouse movie. It's a really big budget kind of a grindhouse, just unrelenting murderer, killer guy out there. So C. Thomas Howell, who plays Jim Halsey, is taking a car across countries, delivering a car. It's not his car. He's delivering a car. He calls it a drive-away. I've never heard this before.
Drive-away. Is that what he said?
That's what he said. Yeah, drive-away.
Yeah, I kept thinking that did seem weird to me, but yeah.
So he picks up Rutger Hauer.
Yeah.
That's a hitchhiker. And then they have some great scenes together, tense scenes. And then C. Thomas Howell finds a way to push Rutger Hauer out of the car. So he gets away from him, but no, he doesn't get away from him. As a matter of fact, Rutger Hauer,
he made him angry.
Yes, it spends the rest of the movie, his name is interestingly John Ryder. He spends the rest of the movie framing him, for all the murders that he's doing. So you might have gotten away, but so he decides, well, you got away from me, and that offended me, so I'm going to toy with you for a while, like a cat and a mouse, and that's exactly what he does.
Yes, and he does it well.
Yeah, he does. But this movie just drips of menace, doom, dread, and it's a combination of horror, a road movie, like a film noir, like The Petrified Forest or something like that. All wrapped up into one. A little Hitchcock too, with the person who is in a situation that is not of his doing, he's caught up in. That was a huge Hitchcock thing, and there's very much that here. This was directed.
A little duel in there, maybe.
Yes. Absolutely. There's some duel. Absolutely, some duel. It was directed by Robert Harmon, who did a movie called They that came out in the early 2000s. It was okay. Nowhere to Run, the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. He did that. Okay, and then he did some Jesse Stone movies. I think Danny Hicks likes a lot. It's Tom Selleck TV stuff.
Okay.
That he did too. So that's it. But the main thing to me is that this movie was written by Eric Red, who directed Bad Moon, Body Parts. Just to me, I think was involved in that era, like after that golden era to 86 right here. To me, Eric Red was the only guy really making movies with any budget that was worth anything.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd see Bad Moon going, where are the rest of these movies? Why is this movie so good? And they have Hollywood feels to them. And I like a Hollywood feel.
I do too. Yeah. I do too. Because some of it is very good storytelling. It whisks you away to, you know what I'm saying? So you don't feel like you're at a movie.
Absolutely.
You're in it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And Bad Moon to me is a very good a very Hollywood popcorn movie. Very good. And I think that Body Parts is a fun Hands of Orlock, kind of riff, I guess. And this too, it would have been interesting to have seen him direct this. Yeah. As well. But I think at this point, I think it was a little bit earlier in his career, I'd say, as far as getting things done, Eric Red's. I have to assume that the quality of this probably helped him land his own films. I don't know any of this stuff, just going off what we've all seen, how Hollywood works for years and years and years. But kudos to Eric Red, though, because this is good writing. This is all writing.
Yeah.
All writing, because the acting is okay. I mean,
it's all right.
C. Thomas, okay. I think when it came out, the acting was much more compelling. When I saw this as a kid, C. Thomas Howell, I really identified with him. And
Me too.
It was harder now.
Yeah.
I think.
I didn't enjoy the acting as much in it as I thought I used to, or I did back then. But that's okay. That's okay. It happens.
Right. It doesn't kill the movie. It certainly doesn't kill the movie. Now, Rutger Hauer Rutger Hauer is very good in it, but I did some digging.
Yeah.
And I found out something that's another twosie, Mr. Ben Harley. Another. Oh my God, they're listening to us. So, I talked about Sam Elliott from The Man Who Killed Hitler.
Yep.
Man Who Built Hitler. The Man Who Killed Hitler. The Man Who Killed Hitler, and then the Bigfoot. Well, apparently Sam Elliott was supposed to play the John Ryder role, and that I wish I would not know that.
After you told me that, it was a little harder for me to watch because I think. Not that I think he's a better actor or Rutger Hauer or for the scene or the setting that was in, his cowboy look for me, I think, and your mustache that you like so much would have lent itself much better to the surroundings. Yeah. Though I always liked the fact that Rutger Hauer also looked out of place. He looked like he came from nowhere. Right. You know what I mean? And I've always liked that too. Because you don't know. He don't know who he is. Right. So,
I'm not criticizing Rutger Hauer in this movie. I'm more like wishing I would have seen both versions.
Me too.
I think he would have gotten something totally different out of both of them.
Sam Elliott. Oh, for sure.
And Sam Elliott just would have, just the way he's so relaxed.
Yes.
It just would have made you so terrified.
Well, the movie's relaxed.
It is relaxed. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And it's a cat and mouse movie across the desert. Yeah. And like Duel. There's a lot of duel when it comes to that too, and I like that a lot. I like the other characters in the movie. I like the police officers in the movie. I think they're a little aggressive towards C. Thomas Howell. I mean, but in fairness, the one police officer does say that kid's no killer. Anybody could see that kid's no killer. Yep. So it's almost like they're roughhousing them because they have to. They almost feel like they have to in a way. I think that C. Thomas Howell, I just don't know if he wasn't right for it. But he is kind of right for it.
Yeah, he a little bit. Yeah,
maybe it's the directing. I mean, maybe the directing was just a little off on the performances.
True.
Or just his, maybe.
I'm not sure. It's something seems a bit off. Though I will say that, but I feel bad about this because I came from the 80s, Timo, and I like a lot of things from the 80s, but it's hard for me because some of the acting that I thought I really enjoyed, and also it's the scores, the 80s themes in these movies. Oh God, I can't take it, especially during action scenes and stuff. It's just I can't. It's awful to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of
takes away from these films for me, and that's okay though. It's just I don't know why it is the '80s theme stuff.
There's a lot of like Yamaha DX7 keyboard, and he used a lot of synthesizers. He used a lot of drum strikes, like doom. Stuff like that, and I'm like,
there it is.
Yeah, you heard it, and I don't have the reverb, but maybe when I do the show, I'll put the reverb on there. They'll freak people out.
Oh God, it's my kryptonite almost. I swear to God,
right?
Because I didn't like that electronic sound when it started. I didn't. I wasn't that guy. I wasn't the guy that liked when Prince came out, and I like Prince, but I don't really like that sound.
Right.
And even rock bands were using it, like Rat.
Well, and
I digress.
Yeah, but this movie, I will give this movie credit though. It doesn't wear its ear on its sleeve.
No,
nor does the story.
No,
neither one. I'll give everybody director, writer, producers. It does not wear its at all, and I like that. Bit. The only thing is a kid doesn't have a phone. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Because they're really out in no man's land, and that works. I like the environment of it working because it's so wide open, but it's so claustrophobic at the same time.
Yes.
And it works well. And that desert, especially the 90s. I heard a joke one time I'll never forget. I think it was Ega or something, and someone was joking about it, saying Ega filmed in the desert where it's cheap.
Yeah.
But I do like it if you use it correctly. If you use that desert correctly, and too many movies used it because it was cheap. This one did not do that. I found
they forgot about the traffic in the way off in the distance. They forgot. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you see the highway not far down, one exit down.
I know it rains in deserts sometimes, but I found it very interesting. There was a lot of rain in this movie. I just did. I don't know. I mean, it was cool. It was very cool. It was there. It was a nice little atmospheric thing. No pun or metaphor intended, I guess. But I thought that was interesting. I was like, it doesn't rain a whole lot in the desert.
No.
This is interesting to see, I guess. There was a lot of tense moments where Rutger Hauer has a knife to the crotch of C. Thomas Howell and things like that. This movie just drips of suspense. It's a suspenseful, eerie film.
And you can start telling too towards that Rutger Hauer is not just, well, he's a maniac. He is. He's a flipping maniac. But there's something else. You know what I mean? Though there's like something else that he wants, and he wants to basically shape C. Thomas Howell into killing him. Basically, he's sharpening him into a instrument of death. Really, if you think about it, and the scene where they're in the diner. And C. Thomas is in there, and he has the gun and stuff, but he's not paying attention. Rutger Hauer sits down next to him, or across from him, and he's like, hey, he has the gun under there, and he's like, he's tough now. He's got the gun, but then he says there's no bullets in there, and just that, not so much that part, but then like Rutger Hauer has his hand under there, and he like just taps the table. Like he's shot or something, and C. Thomas starts going, bah, 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 like shooting off blanks, or not blanks, but empty gun. And that scene to me was just so cool and intense, and I completely forgot about that little scene. And I was like, that to me was really cool. I just thought, it's weird though. He puts the pennies on his eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like, at this point, though, what else can you do to this kid?
But he's toying with him. He's definitely toying with him. It's one of those movies where no matter how smart C. Thomas Howell is, Rutger Hauer's going to figure out a way to get to him. The one thing that I find interesting, too, is that when this movie came out, I clearly remember that it wasn't a bigger movie because of the amount of violence in it. And I don't see a lot of violence, and I see a lot of aftermath. So
I think
I think what it wasn't violence, it was the gore. And I still look at that, and I remember the scene where he's in jail, where Rutger Hauer tore through the place, but they never showed it. No. And I'm just looking at this movie like, is it gruesome? Yes. Is it gross? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so at all. Now, when I saw this in 86, did I think it was violent? On par. It was on par with the other violent movies I was seeing or whatever, but I didn't get, and I think maybe because it could have been such a big movie. Maybe that's, and some movies weren't destined to be big movies. Like Reanimator, Evil Dead 2 weren't destined to be big theatrical first run movies. That's not the kind of movies. They're cult films. This was kind of more of a bigger feel movie that became a cult film. But it's so good.
It is. And this is one, and like Timo, this is going to break any ground, but this is one that I haven't seen in a while. I know that happens a lot.
I haven't seen it for a while either. I have not seen it for a long time.
But this was one that I will put up, and I don't want to rank it by any means, but I will put it up on a pedestal as a movie, because this is one that affected me when I watched it. I will always remember it, even if I never had to get to see it again. You know what I mean? I'll remember it, the movie itself. I can't say I'm going to remember it scene by scene, but it had that much of an effect on me. And I remember, and it was sucked kind of too, because you told me before we watched it, it's an awful transfer.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that too in a second here. Whenever
and it is. Done. Yeah. And I remember this being a well shot movie. One of those movies that I feel like I could feel. It had a feeling to it. The desert, the whole thing, the loneliness, all of it.
Oozes of dread and doom.
Yeah. And I appreciated that. And the ending of this film, or the Jennifer Jason Leigh part at the end, that was tough for me to watch, even when I was younger, and I liked horror films.
Well, that bothered me too, because they should have showed that, because for all the crap this movie took for the violence and gore, it's like they didn't even show that. I'm like, come on, it wasn't that big of a deal, and they should have shown that. And I think that might have been a big mistake in that movie, not to show that.
And I just don't really understand why this film isn't a little bit more. I always thought it was, and I think people of our age and people that have seen it would consider this much bigger of a film than I guess it became. Or
I
whatever.
agree.
I don't know.
I think it just hasn't been available. Yeah. And I think that they let it be forgotten, and whoever they would be, the powers to be.
Right.
Damn
C. Thomas Howell.
Well, I just I just think that. Yeah, but I just think that the fact that this is cut into the DVD, the quality of the DVD. Look, it was one of the first DVDs that came out. I get that. When you watch it, though, You're like,
It looks
this is
awful.
this is incorrect. This is the worst. It's VHS almost quality in parts. The video is. And then it gets okay for a little bit. And then whoever rendered this or transferred this or whatever did an awful job. Yeah. And then they stick their name at the end of it. The company the digital company. I'm like, those people need to die. The Hitcher needs to go after them. And it's so rare now. And I did find a Blu-ray on Diabolique DVD. Okay. It's a German Blu-ray. And I want to get it. I can't afford it right now, but I want to get it. It's on my radar, as they say. Yeah. But why is this not on Blu-ray? You know, I mean, I don't understand why they didn't re-release it on DVD. Why didn't Shout? Why didn't Anchor Bay when they were doing stuff? Why didn't anybody put this out again? Yeah. It was out on DVD once. I think it's still available, but it's the same crap DVD from what I know.
Yeah, and it is. It's awful. Oh, I was very disappointed. Like, and I, you know, it's not going to affect me that much, but I do enjoy a good looking transfer. Well, as much as the next guy, right? Come on.
Well, bad. And I know it's DVD. This is not what we're talking about. This is beyond. Well, it's DVD. It's like Blu-ray. No. That's not this. This is artifacts. It has noise all over the picture. It's got lines going through it. It's all like blurry.
It looks like at one point like the tracking was
yeah. Absolutely.
I was like, whoa, wait a second.
Yeah. So
that's pretty bad.
Now unfortunately because of this, I went on Amazon and I wanted to watch, I'll just buy a stream of it high def, right? Yeah. Well, no, you can't find that either unless you did a free trial with Cinemax. Oh, it's a free trial. So I'll try it. So I did that, and it was awful. It was worse than the DVD. And then after the credits, it blew up into a full frame picture. Yeah, that looked like a VHS, and it said HD on it. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me! Come on, you know this is 2019, 2019. All right. Get your shit together, all right?
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, now I don't know who it is to blame for this thing not being out, but I'd like to know what happened with that DVD transfer. I'd also like to know if this thing's going to come out, and if not, why? Who owns the score that's not going to let it out? Who did the? That's not going to let it out. Who owns the rights to the film? I don't know what, but somebody needs to put this thing back out in states here. Yeah, and it's been needed for decades.
Yeah, it's a great
It is a great movie.
It's just a great movie.
Yeah, with all of our little critiques of the acting and stuff like that, it doesn't kill the movie. It just didn't. Some of the parts of the movie didn't age as well. But when it came out, it was spot on, man. It was spot on, and it's aged well enough that I will watch it again. It's still a good movie. It's a hard movie to get through though. It's hard to watch. It drains you a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little long for me. It's probably about 15 minutes too long for me. But that's okay. It's still, I almost forgot about a lot of the ending. Like with him confronting him and all that stuff. I forgot about a lot of that. I really did. So it seemed a little bit longer to me. So, but that's okay. Not, whatever. That's okay.
Yeah. And some of the editing seemed more dodgy to me too, where things seemed rushed a little bit. But in fairness, a lot of this has to do because we kind of know where the story is going. And so we can't ever get that first experience watching this movie. And The Hitcher is definitely a first experience movie.
Yes.
It's a first time movie. You see it. It's like whatever happened to Baby Jane. Real tough to say. I'm going to spend 2+ hours watching these two old bats hate each other again. But the first time, you're just glued. You're just glued.
Yeah, you are. Right. Big time. Like, these old biddies.
Yeah, but they can become exhausting. This movie's not that exhausting. It's way more popcorn entertaining than that. But it's still a terrific film, though. And if someone hasn't seen this, they should see this movie because it's very, very good. But wait until somebody relents and puts this thing out in a better quality because it is a very beautiful film.
I think so.
A lot of the landscapes are gorgeous in it. And it's frustrating to watch it on a bad transfer. Maybe that's part of it too, Harley. Maybe it's just frustrating because it's looking bad, so it's taking away from some of the performances too. It's taking you out of it a little bit. But
it did at first because I was looking forward to this for the fact of because it looked good when I remember.
Yes, yeah.
So
Sure. Oh, I know. No, Harley picked this. I sent it to him. He was aggressively wanting to see this. He almost punched me in the eye. I said, we'll just watch a movie. I mean, it's fine. I sent it to you. I mean,
he's like, it's okay. It's okay. He's like, I'm going to be at your house. I'm going to pop up in the back of your car.
I'm going to have Danny Hicks fly there first. And towards you. So I'm going to give it a great bape up. It's the only reason I'm not going to give it up to the rafters is I want to see a better quality print of this, and it's some of it didn't age a whole lot, but this isn't going to be a detriment. It's not a killer to the film. It's just little things that sometimes these things don't.
Yeah. And Tim, I have to kind of sometimes same thing too. Like, though I like 50s stuff, and I grew up watching and liking 50s things, from the 50s and 60s. Some of that stuff comes up wonky and kind of like, to me too.
Right.
So I have to think about it. These movies, man, what's this movie? 30 years old now?
86 over that.
So 33 years old or whatever. And so think about that, Timo, if in the 70s, 33 years from 76, you know what I mean?
Right.
So those movies, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
So, what I'm saying? Like, I just have to sometimes think about, man, Ben, you have to relax. Yeah. Some of the stuff's going to be wonky. No matter if I was that age at that time or it's an older film, whatever, And
it's not the film that doesn't age. I think it's mostly C. Thomas Howell's performance doesn't age as well. And also some of the editing didn't age as well. For repeat viewings, I guess, because it seems like it jumps into things and around a little bit. There's also do you remember a scene? I think a scene was edited out of this too. Do you remember when Rutger Hauer and him were in the car? I could have swore that C. Thomas Howell looked over at him. And excuse my language here. I'm just repeating what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought he said, "You're not one of those faggots" or something.
Yeah, you know what?
I could have swore that was in there. And I told Angie, I said, well, it could have been edited out. This is a very old DVD before we got so PC, it got insane. Not that I do have a problem with cutting that out because I don't think it's offensive. I think it's what a kid would say in 1986 to somebody that's got a knife to their nuts or is looking at him. I thought it was when he was looking at him funny.
Yeah, because he looked at him real funny. Like,
and then
he was like,
I thought he said that, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm making that up, but I could have swore because I was waiting for it.
Yeah,
and it didn't happen. I'm like, oh, did I miss something? So maybe some of that dodgy editing, maybe the HBO came out on HBO. It came out on their label. Maybe they chopped it a little bit to make it a little more palatable for people. I don't know.
That's true too. Yeah, you never know, buddy.
They could have chopped some of the gore out too, and
that's true too. You never know anymore.
Yeah, this is
I don't
old.
know.
Yeah,
Since we're in the space-time continuum and we keep messing with the space-time continuum, we're probably changing history ourselves. So these movies are getting different all the time.
Yeah.
Different endings. And didn't E.T. make it back home? For some reason, I watched it last week and he died. The ship blew up. And,
if you don't believe us, just watch Jaws: The Revenge on 4 different TV stations, 4 different years. You'll see 4 different endings. Yeah,
we sure will. And they all suck.
They sure do. But the Hitcher does not suck. So very good job. And
thumbs up. I gotta give a great bape up to almost tickling the rafters.
Yes, and a great bape up to the rafters to the writing. This is a marvelously written film, and why I am a big Eric Red fan is because of that writing stuff. And that he's got his hold on. He's like a guy that watched the movies that we watched, like from the 50s through the 70s, and said, "I got this." And then he started writing his own stuff. It doesn't.
Let me show you.
It doesn't mimic other stuff as much as it is extending it. And I didn't see that much. It kind of died out to me. Yeah. And what he was doing was one of the few things I saw that was still like palatable to me. That was like, this is cool. Yeah. This is big stuff. This is a good movie, So, but anyway, 2 great bapes up pretty much to the rafters. Sir. We got little techie reasons we didn't do that, but real far up for the Hitcher. 2 mild great bapes up for Curse of the Faceless Man. Richard Anderson needed something else to chew on.
Yeah.
And he had the girl to chew on, but
he sure did, didn't
he could nibble on her a little bit, I guess. But
why not let
all right, Mr. Ben Harley, not sure what we're doing next week, but whatever it is, it will be fantastic. I promise.
It'll be riveting.
And I keep my promises. I definitely keep my promises. So till next week, Mr. Ben Harley, stay spooky, and we'll talk to you then.
Keep it creepy, people.
You've been listening to the Timo and Harley Show, brought to you by ScreenPrintingFactory.com, your affordable one-stop solution to all your screen printing needs.